Okay, I don't know if I'm posting this or not. If it goes totally weird, I might reassess and decide not to do this. At the beginning of the year, by the way, it's New Year's Day. Today is also my cousin's birthday. The good cousin, the cousin I actually like, who's still not talking to me since 2012 and is probably going into brain surgery in a few days. And I don't know how to feel about it. Meditated on it last night, and I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, beginning of the year, there's something called the Hatsuyume, which is um, is the Japanese concept of it. I've always been kind of interested in this concept of the Hatsuyume. Um, just I don't know, just because who knows? The first dream of the year, and I had a bunch of just like weird ones. Like I don't know why this was it. Sometimes some years I don't even have a Hatsuyume until a few days or a few weeks or at the end of the month, and then other times it just happens. So there was two main things that happened, although there's so many other things that happened I don't remember. And since I've spent a considerable amount of effort in the past few years, especially since 2024 or even 2020, end of 2023, to work on dream incubation, which tends to be a thing I'm just naturally more prone or inclined to do. And I did watch a number of content not only last night but the day before, which sort of became part of my Hatsuyume, even though I wasn't actively trying to incubate it. I was trying to incubate something else because I have weird experiences all the time of the, I guess we could call it paranormal variety. And so I was hoping that that was kind of a lead up into something. And then the Erica Kirk thing, first it was Charlie Kirk and now it's Erica Kirk, it just will not go away in media right now. It's just so annoying. And basically, I had this bizarre dream that, because there's so many controversial things going on with the Kirks, not just the death of Charlie, but his spouse, which is just so loaded with so many issues. And in the dream, and this dream cycled over and over and over, and it was so annoying. And basically, in my dream, Erica Kirk put out like a single where she's singing, but she's singing about urine. And she also releases like some product that's like glass vials or something else of urine, which is supposed to be her urine. But I like the controversy of ghost singers, like not just Milli Vanilli, but like many others, including Britney Spears and various other pop singers, Jennifer Lopez, etc. It was pretty obvious to me that whoever voice and whoever was singing in this specific song that was a single that was put out was not hers. I don't remember what the song was, what kind of genre it was, or what it sounded like, but it was pretty much not her. Everything about her was so fake and fraudulent. But then on the single, which was sort of almost like an EP, like a small EP, had tracks in it by Charlie Kirk, who's freaking dead. And it reminded me of like the whole Tupac thing, like there's always some new album or whatever. And there was just so many levels of just weird that, and it just cycled over and over and over. And I woke up many times and I remember thinking like, maybe I just need to go pee, which is often the case. And then I grab my crutches and hobble over to go do that. And then I'd come back hoping to dream of something, anything else. Because if I even think about that dream, it will probably put me there, which is very like William Buellman. if you understand what I mean. And so I would think of just something else, anything else, and then I'd still be in the stupid dream again. So then I had these other, I don't, that's why I don't feel like dream is the word. It's like I'm reality shifting and I'm going to these other worlds or something. And there's these girls there, and these girls are so annoying. They're basically like the Pleiades Greek mythology nymphs. And there's oftentimes anywhere from like 5 to 7. Sometimes there's only about 3, but there's like other ones there that are sort of like invisible, but I can kind of perceive them. And they're quite annoying oftentimes. In these dreams, they have this very uppity vibe. They oftentimes seem kind of like white supremacist, like whitey McWhite. Like, it's so annoying. I really don't like it. They're oftentimes bullies. They'll tease me. They'll make trouble. They're troublemakers. And this has been ongoing for maybe 3 years now, or longer. I don't know. I can't remember. It's definitely been the past more than 2 years, so like maybe 3. And they're what you'd call like a dreamwalker. If you've ever seen the Inception film, where there's this gang or mob of people who hack into people's dreams and oftentimes create several levels of dreams even within dreams. And they'll get information out of people, they'll influence people, deceive people. It's all weird. And so these are one of a number of dreamwalkers I've encountered. I oftentimes cannot remember a lot of it, just sometimes. But also when I reality shift, which is very similar to like William Buellman's concept of OBEs or Preston Dennett's, as well as Jose Silva, he will use Silva method to quote unquote project himself somewhere else. And when I go to these other realities, I can access my memory previously of having been there over long periods of time, very like lifetimes when I'm there. And so as I'm in this dream or this reality, I have a memory of having been there many times before, and I'm in my like mid-20s, and these girls are there, girls, women, ladies, whatever. But it's pretty obvious to me that they're not just normal humans. And this also gets into this very Hogwarts kind of stuff, like the wizarding world. And it's like I went to high school with them. And so they're like classmates or neighbors or relatives or something. And I don't like them, not because they're not the kind of people I'd want to hang out with. I don't like their attitudes. I don't like their, like, I find them to be immature. I find them to be like, just a lot of issues. So, but then they're telling me these stories of going to these like support groups and I don't know, or therapy sessions or whatever. But then we're like teleporting to other places, but it's more like apparating in the wizarding world. And where was my journal entry? Here it is. So it's oftentimes, if you've never watched the Harry Potter films, it's very much like the WB version of apparating, which has various depictions of apparition. Here's a video that oftentimes explains various aspects of apparating. I think it's all stills, probably. Yeah, whatever. And then here's another one. Same. And then there's this one has all kinds of this apparition. So you have like the Death Eater's WB version of apparating, and then what are they called? The Marauders / Order of the Phoenix apparators, who are more like light particles and smoke and stuff like that. For me, because I've watched these films many times over, It has a tendency to look more like how the Death Eaters are, only not quite so black. It's maybe like a dark gray or off black kind of color, where it's some other color that's very dark, almost black. And in my experiences of I'm traveling all over the place. I'm traveling all over the place, often with these chicks, and I find them to be just like, I have to just put up with them. Like, I have to just like humor them because they're so annoying. They're so, at times, they're not as annoying in this, but they're definitely annoying me. Kind of like if you've ever watched Hercules, that old 90s show Hercules or Xena. Both Hercules and Xena are highly annoyed with quote unquote gods because they're annoying and they're very like uppity or whatever. And so these chicks have this like very privileged, uppity smugness at times, and they can be catty, especially like when I've had very like Hogwarts adjacent kind of shifts, reality shifts, and they can absolutely be psycho. In this dream they were not that psycho, but it just kept cycling over and over and over again. There's also like, it's very confusing because there's various versions of them where they're more like this more Greek one. Then there's the more North African one, which gets kind of dark. Danaides, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it. there's no thing here. Danaides. Here it is in Greek. I haven't been keeping up with my Greek lessons, but whatever. And some of the stuff is like psychotic. Like here they are doing this, which this is like the psycho whatever, and it's oftentimes very super similar, often has very similar themes like shape-shifting, hybrids, superior bloodlines, magic, quote-unquote gods, supreme beings or whatever, who are like very uppity. And one figure, is it even here? I thought I had it. The one figure that has a tendency to come up a lot, or seems to remind me of, is did I spell that wrong? The Solano Harpy, which is both a person in the Pleiades, as well as this one, and here's another one. And they oftentimes have very similar themes in them. I find them to be just so freaking annoying. And this can be everything from like werewolves or shape-shifting into like animal, like here you go, Lycaon, or like I can't pronounce it. Yeah, and when these persons, or they honestly have a tendency to remind me oftentimes of this even. They're very annoying. They're oftentimes very white supremacist. Like it's so annoying. It's like abrasively annoying and in my face, and they will flaunt how very pale they are. Oftentimes they're very pale hair color, which is almost always some blonde color, some platinum blonde color, or it's like a tawny colored hair that's technically not a brunette. And their complexion is often like super pale, and I do not like it at all because it's almost like they're rubbing it in my face. I do not like these girls at all. And I've many times in many other dream encounters, reality shifts, or whatever the heck they're doing, OBEs, I have many times outsmarted them because they're so dumb. It's very like Dunning-Kruger. They're so stupid. And they just have like a whole bunch of them. And it's as if like some of them exist on like a gradient of like closer to whatever state I am, which is like molecules with a body, and then the others kind of sort of rank up into like more of a non-physical or in some other kind of a realm. And this is constantly a manner that I have a tendency to perceive them. Like the ones that go sort of more outer of the three-dimensional whatever have this like in more invisibleness and less of like a body shape, but they can kind of go into more of like a body if they wanted to. Um, for whatever reason, this stupid dream, several sequences of dream, which just seemed to go dreams, which went on and on and on and on, and were sort of apparating to all of these different locations. A lot of it felt like Pennsylvania, parts of Pennsylvania, like southern Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania, Ohio, but also eastern Pennsylvania, and even like the Poconos, Maryland, Virginia, and some place out west like Nevada and Colorado. And we're just going to these locations. There's even like this house or different houses I've been to. They oftentimes are white. The houses look very white. And I don't really have a choice of the matter because it's like it's like I'm a relative of them or also a classmate or neighbor, and I kind of grew up with them in this reality, and so I just can't like get out of it. Like there's no other way to deal with it other than like, oh, here they are again. And in other dreams I had, like especially this summer, and even in the fall, they're very spring as well. They're so annoying. They're so annoying. They're almost like Bellatrix Lestrange in a way, or like an anime villain, like a psycho chick, and they're catty and or like Mean Girls kind of thing. And then in this dream, they weren't like that so much, but they just want attention from me or whatever. I just really don't like it. Um, yeah, so that was my weird Hatsuyume. I've spent a lot of time and effort, especially since last year, to work on reality shifting. And I think I'm more transitioning over more into OBE and gateway process because of all the blocks and conundrums that I have that I need to work through that I can't do with just the basic attempt format approaches and structures to reality shifting because I keep having problems with clicking out and traveling, going places I'm not intending to. And my scripts that I've written, and I have my two main scripts as well as my first version of my reality shift script, which is for Hogwarts. It's in here, and I've actually removed it from my pillow because I've had it under my pillow since the springtime. It's like March or something. And I've written a lot of stuff. And I removed it because I've been always doing pillow method in conjunction with other methods. I also heavily meditate, but since I injured my leg, getting around just to sit on the sofa is it's a lot of work and effort that I just haven't been doing it in the methods. Like Sylvan method is a huge one I did this year, like a lot. And gateway process as well as other stuff. Visualization. Visualization is a big one with me. And there's so many freaking things that I learned this year. In 2024, a lot of things were more like this Greek mythology theme that came up heavily everywhere, including my dreams. Even 2023, but especially 2024. And then it shifted more into like Viking stuff, which I heavily resisted. Heavily resisted. until I couldn't, and I blame all of that on David, which I'm actually thankful for. I also have a tendency to commune with David frequently. It's just a part of my life now. Um, so there's that. And what else? I've learned a lot of things about applying mantras slash affirmations very differently, as well as programming, especially because of Silva method, um, which I've actually gotten pretty decent with. And what else? Man, I learned so much stuff in 2025. It's crazy. I haven't done this much and had this much growth and progress in anything in such a short time. And this, I would have these spurts. I would also have stalls and delays, followed by incredible results. Another thing that comes up like so often in my dreams now is everything that's wizard themed and not just like Harry Potter Wizarding World themes. Other kinds of wizard themes. Wizards, it's like wizard everything. Like oftentimes I'll even like there'll be like I'll have dreams and there'll be like wizards who look like hippies, like with tie-dye t-shirts and stuff like that. um and anything else? Anyway, was there anything else that I was thinking about? Overall, like a Hatsuyume is supposed to be some kind of indication about something important. It's heavily believed in Japan, but no, they'll oftentimes refer to it as January the 2nd. However, like today is January the 1st. But most people will refer to it as January 1st. So I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know how to feel. Like right here, I'm on the Wikipedia, and it says in Japanese culture, a Hatsuyume is the first dream one has in the new year. Traditionally, the contents of such a dream would foretell the luck of the dreamer and the ensuing year. In Japan, night of December 31st was often passed without sleeping, so Hatsuyume is often experienced during the night of January 1st, the day after the night of the first dream. Is also known as the Hatsuyume. This day is January 2nd in the Gregorian calendar, but was different in traditional Japanese calendar. Majority of my life, it was always January 1st or after. Whenever your first dream happens, which can be frustrating if you don't have any dreams for like the whole month. That's happened. Um, because I would even prep some years to write my dream down the following day and not have any dream, or have insomnia, or have like a half sleep kind of thing. It says it's considered to be a good luck. It's good luck to dream of Mount Fuji, a hawk, or an eggplant. I've never had those kinds of dreams. I oftentimes would have dreams about some kind of music band, or it could be some crush I had in high school or something. Don't know why. Um, because it would never lead to anything. It's just a point of interest of, what is it going to be? I don't really believe in prophecy or foretelling of stuff, although that was a common thing I experienced when I was very young, all frequently. I would many times have dreams that would foretell the future. What does it say here? Although this superstition is well known in Japan, often memorized in the form of Ichi Fuji, Nitaka, San, Subi, these things.
Your credit card, you have to use your credit card.
My credit
because
card?
all
Alright, I'm
name.
ending this recording.